Welcome back to the deep dive. We're here to sift through the noise, find the core insights, and, give you that essential knowledge shortcut. And today, wow, we're looking at what feels like a corporate takedown, really. A super drastic streamlining of one of the cheapest EVs out there. We're talking the Hyundai Kona Electric. Okay, so let's get into this.
Yeah.
For the 2026 model year, Hyundai didn't just, nudge the Kona Electric lineup. They pretty much took it apart. The headline here is, they slashed 4 trims down to just one single trim left. It's a massive shift, and honestly, it tells you a lot about where things stand with affordable EVs right now.
Oh, it's definitely more than just trimming the fat. It feels like a whole strategy reset. And you've got to remember, the Kona Electric, it was actually an early player for Hyundai in the US EV game, showed up back in 2019. That was 3 whole years before the Ioniq 5 everyone talks about now. So it was their affordable entry point, their pioneer.
Yeah, their main affordable EV for a while.
Exactly. And now it's being shoved into this very specific, very narrow corner of the market.
So that's our mission for you today. We're going to dig into what's actually left in that one remaining trim. We'll look at the, frankly, brutal sales numbers that probably force Hyundai's hand here, and maybe most importantly, why its own sibling, the Ioniq 5, is basically ending its lunch. All right, this is where it gets really interesting. Let's look at the damage report for 2026. Like I said, this wasn't gentle. This was a purge. They got rid of the main SEL trim.
Yep.
They got the top-end limited trim.
Gone.
And even those sporty-looking N-line versions totally vanished.
Which leaves,
Yeah.
drum roll, please, but nothing else. And the big casualty in all of this, the collateral damage, is the long-range battery option. Poof. Gone
Really?
completely.
That's the real kicker, isn't it?
That's the core of the streamlining, I think, losing that bigger battery.
And that's a huge loss if you were thinking of the Kona for anything more than just, driving around town.
Yeah.
That dropped. Long-range battery. It was a decent 64.8 kilowatt hour, gave you, an EPA estimate of up to 261 miles?
Right. Pretty practical. You could actually take a road trip in that.
Yeah, you could.
But now, the 2026 Kona Electric only comes with the smaller 48.6 kilowatt-hour standard range battery, which means your max estimated range plummets to 200 miles.
200.
Yeah. It really just becomes a dedicated city commuter car at that point, no longer that flexible option. And I know you always want the biggest range, all the options, the fancy trim.
Yeah.
Well, you can start building your dream Kona online now because there's only one choice.
Okay, you got me.
Yeah.
I did like the look of the N-line. I admit it. Probably wouldn't have paid for it, but still. But hey, if you do stick with this solo option, you get one tiny interior update. Ready for this?
Oh, I'm on the edge of my seat.
A larger console tray.
A larger tray. Brilliant. Because obviously when you lose 61 miles of range and 3 entire trim levels, the main thing you're missing is space for, an extra granola bar?
Oh, maybe. Or your tears.
It's almost symbolic, isn't it? Tiny little perk to distract from the massive cuts.
All right. So since the SE is the only game left in town, let's look at the specs for you. What are you actually getting? It's the entry point. It's functional, gets the job done, but don't expect fireworks. Power-wise, it keeps the single motor. That gives you 133 horsepower, 188 pound-feet of torque. Basic stuff. Efficiency is still great, though. That's a plus. It's rated at 118 mile-per-hour combined. Very good for its size.
Still efficient.
And price. Well, the 2025 SE started at $32,975 before destination fees. We don't have the 2026 price yet, but
we suspect it might have to stay put or maybe even drop. We'll get to why later.
Right. So visually, what's the SE like?
Well, the good news is it does use the newer second-gen Kona design from 2024. So you get that kind of futuristic look, the thin LED lights across the front, 17-inch alloys. It looks modern enough.
Okay.
Inside, though, it's basic. Cloth seats, manual driver's seat adjustment, pretty straightforward, entry-level stuff.
No surprises there. But the tech package is actually pretty decent for a base model, isn't it?
Yeah, that's where Hyundai usually delivers some value. You still get an 8-inch touchscreen.
And crucially, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto come standard. That's still a big deal at this price point.
Absolutely. Many rivals make you pay extra or plug in. You also get dual-zone auto climate control, USB-C ports. It's got the modern basics covered.
Okay, so decent tech, basic interior city range. But there's a catch with the charging, right? The architecture.
Yes. This is probably the technical detail that really explains why they couldn't keep the other trims competitive. The Kona Electric uses an older 400-volt electrical architecture.
Okay, so for listeners maybe not super deep in the EV tech weeds, what does 400-volt mean in practice, like at the charger?
It means relatively slower charging on road trips compared to newer EVs. Hyundai says 10 to 80% charge takes about 43 minutes on a DC fast charger. And our sources called that time, what was the phrase? Notably modest.
Notably modest. Polite way of saying kind of slow.
Pretty much, especially when you compare it to Hyundai's own newer EVs like the Ioniq 5 or Ioniq 6. Those use the much more advanced eGMP platform, Electric Global Modular Platform.
Right. eGMP. That's the key difference maker for Hyundai's newer stuff.
It really is. Because eGMP supports 800-volt charging.
So 800 volts versus 400, what's the real world difference?
Huge. Well, the Kona takes that, 43 minutes for a 10 to 80% charge. The Ioniq 5, using eGMP, can do the same charge in ideal conditions in under 20 minutes. Like 18 minutes sometimes.
Wow. Less than half the time.
Exactly. So if you're driving longer distances or even just rely on public fast charging, that difference, 43 minutes versus maybe 18 or 20, is massive. It's the difference between a quick coffee break and a real chunk out of your day.
Okay, that really highlights the challenge the Kona was facing internally. So connecting this all up, the reason they gutted the lineup isn't necessarily that the Kona itself failed, but more that the Ioniq 5 is just too good and too close in price.
I think that's a huge part of it. The sales data, like you said earlier, it's pretty brutal. It basically shows the market actively choosing the newer, better sibling. Hyundai sold, get this, only 1,980 Kona Electrics in the U.S. in the first half of 2025.
Under 2,000. In 6 months. Ouch. That is not good.
No, it's really bad. And that number, it's a 42.4% drop compared to the same time in 2024.
Over 40% down year over year. No.
So consumers were basically voting with their wallets. Demand for the older platform, especially with that slower charging, it evaporated. You can see why Hyundai wouldn't want to keep 4 different versions of a slow-selling car on the books, right? Especially when they want people to buy the Ioniq 5.
So the pressure is coming from inside the house, first and foremost. The Ioniq 5 is stealing the show.
Yeah.
And Hyundai is kind of helping it happen with their pricing now.
Exactly right. After some tax credit changes and stuff, Hyundai actually lowered the starting price on the 2026 Ioniq 5. It now starts around $35,000. And they also kept offering that $7,500 incentive or credit on the leftover 2025 Ioniq 5s.
Okay, let's just pause on that map because this is really the key takeaway for you listening. The stripped-down Kona Electric, 200-mile range, 43-minute fast charge, starts at $32,975. Let's call it 33 grand. The base Ioniq 5 with the superior eGMP platform, way faster charging, arguably just a better overall car, now starts at $35,000.
Yeah.
That's only a $2,000 difference.
Precisely. And that tiny price gap just makes the Kona look, well, kind of obsolete for most buyers doing their homework. Why would you pick the older tech, the slower charging, the shorter range option, when for just a couple grand more, literally, like a fancy coffee habit per month on financing, you could get the modern Ioniq 5.
Right. They basically priced the multi-trim Kona out of existence themselves by making the Ioniq 5 so competitive at the entry level.
But this leads to another question, doesn't it? If the Ioniq 5 now owns that $35K plus space for Hyundai, what happens when other car makers attack that sub-$35K space, the space the Kona SE is now stuck in?
Ah, the external competition. Because the Kona isn't just fighting the Ioniq 5 anymore. It's got new rivals showing up. And the big one we're hearing about is the 2026 Nissan Leaf. Sounds like it's getting a serious makeover.
Oh, yeah. Nissan seems to be coming out swinging with the next Leaf. Sources say they're aiming for the lowest starting price of any new EV in the U.S. Rumors are putting it around $29,990 to start.
Under 30 grand. Okay, that's aggressive.
Very. And it's not just the price. The new Leaf is apparently promising 2 key things that directly challenge this lone Kona SE. First, Nissan's claiming significantly more range. We don't have exact numbers, but that likely means well over 300 miles, maybe even closer to 350 on some trims.
Whoa, okay. So way more range than the Kona's 200.
Way more. And second, the new Leaf is expected to come standard with the NECS charge port.
The Tesla plug, giving it access to the supercharger network.
Bingo, which the Kona doesn't have currently.
So putting it all together.
The picture becomes pretty clear. The Kona Electric had its moment as one of the few affordable EV options under $35K. But now, it's seriously lagging on range compared to newcomers like the Leaf. And it just can't compete with the Ioniq 5 on charging speed or overall modernity. The only move left for the Kona was this extreme specialization. Cut everything else, focus only on being Hyundai's cheapest possible EV city car, and hope that price point is low enough.
Which brings us neatly to our summary for you. The Hyundai Kona Electric, it's really changed its mission. It's gone from being this flexible EV with multiple options, including decent range, to just a single-purpose vehicle. It's now Hyundai's dedicated entry-level electric commuter. Its whole reason for existing is basically to hit that low price tag.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating to think about now is its survival probably depends entirely on price. Just price. With the Ioniq 5 sitting right there at $35,000, Hyundai basically has to be willing to cut the price on this remaining Kona SE even more, maybe significantly below $30,000, right? Just to have a fighting chance against that upcoming Nissan Leaf with its better range and NACS port. So that's the big question for you to watch. Will Hyundai drop the price enough to make people overlook the older tech and shorter range? That's the real drama unfolding in the affordable EV space.
Absolutely. It's a classic story, isn't it? The early trailblazer getting squeezed out by newer tech, some of it from its own family. Well, thank you for joining us for this deep dive into what's left of Hyundai's original affordable EV effort. We really hope this gave you that knowledge shortcut you were looking for. If you enjoyed unpacking all this with us, please do follow the channel. Check out our other deep dives. We'll see you on the next one.